next speaker is Teresa Harvey-Jackson, principal at the Marshall Elementary.
Good evening. Hi.
Good evening. I will try to keep my emotions in check because I need you to hear what I have to say. Although this is my profession, this is very personal to me. First, I support the idea of the Marshall becoming an in-district charter. Our children deserve a new and clean facility. They deserve a longer school day. They deserve to be educated to their fullest potential and beyond. And this is the message I am sharing with the families of our school. Up would be good for my biological children. It is therefore good for theirs. Unfortunately, this did not happen at the Marshall. You failed 700 children, families, and staff of the community. The superintendent failed the children, families, and staff of the Marshall School, as did the education mayor. Upon the arrival of the superintendent, we had made AYP. The superintendent took away those resources, and we have continued to struggle ever since. While the district received millions of dollars in Race to the Top money, the money was used to support turnaround schools. At that time, struggling schools like the Marshall were not low enough to receive resources. Guess what? We are now. It also was used to staff the superintendent's leadership team at a time when we were cutting teachers and support staff. In fact, we have had 5 chief academic officers in the past 6 years, the last one lasting 9 months. As a struggling school, all of our first grade classes are oversubscribed. However, we are noticing some interesting school assignment patterns. Our lab cluster program, which houses the district's students who have emotional and social disabilities, is undersubscribed. Last year, our 4th grade class had 12 students. Class size maximum is 8. This year, it has 3. Our SIFE class, which houses the district's Latino students who are new to the country, do not speak English, have never been to school, or have had major interruptions in their schooling, has 1. We're wondering, is this because all of the Marshall students are guaranteed a seat at Up Academy, and all of these children will have to take MCAS? Another area where we have begun to see activity is with the facility. Even though children have been getting hurt on the playground at the Marshall School for the past 3 years, no one has responded to the landing material that is deteriorating.
30 seconds.
I'm sorry?
30 seconds.
Go ahead.
Yet 2 weeks ago, without a work order, men arrived to repair both playgrounds. Last week, I was informed that the windows that we have been waiting for 10 years to be replaced with asbestos caulking will now be fixed. Yesterday, men arrived to fix the lighting. The building, which is supposed to be painted every 7 years, has not been painted since 1995. All of the painting done at the Marshall has been done by City Year and its partners. When an entire bank of toilets was out of order last year, I was told to shut down the area, have students go to other areas of the building to relieve themselves. Fortunately, Eddie Murphy, who, like me, believes all children should have clean, functioning facility, went to bat for the children at the Marshall, and the repairs were made. However, now that Up Academy is coming, the Marshall can find money to beautify the facility. I'm sorry, I'm really upset. If you have some time, stop by the Marshall and assess the conditions of the school before and after Up occupies the building. See my staff in action. I work with committed, conscientious, and hardworking staff that realize our job is to educate children. Many of these children live in unimaginable circumstances. In fact, the Marshall has the largest homeless student population. Neither the mayor nor the superintendent have visited the Marshall during the instructional day except when there has been a shooting or for a photo opportunity, dedication of our makeover library by Target and Heart of America. Reverend Groover, when you were first appointed, you visited the Marshall. At our meeting where we debriefed what you saw, your first comment was, there are no white children here. Over the years, the amount of violence the children and the staff have dealt with has been overwhelming. A police officer was shot in front of our building and left for dead. Many of these shootings have resulted in the death of former students. We have the Louis D. Brown Peace Garden at our school, which has a brick for every former homicide victim of the Marshall School. During traumatic times, we were fortunate to have Children's Hospital and the Louis D. Brown Institute for Support, not BPS. Last spring, I was informed that a group of Boston citizens called Leave Boston would be visiting the Marshall. They wanted to visit a school that had lots of resources and a school that was under-resourced. Which school do you think we were? They were surprised to learn that there were 6 long-term substitutes during their visit. 5 of these classrooms included students that took MCAS. Next Wednesday, after 35 years of service, I am retiring. What an exciting time it was supposed to be. It has turned into a painful one. The faculty who initially were excited for me now feel like they're being deserted during a difficult transition. On Friday afternoon, I received a call from the superintendent who was away receiving the Superintendent of the Year award. She informed me that I will be becoming a charter school. She further told me that letters would be mailed to parents the next day and that Joe Shea would meet with the faculty after school on Monday, as she would be out of town. I emailed staff about this meeting. As you can imagine, they worried all weekend about this announcement. I don't have to share with you how the staff took the news. You have closed so many schools over the past 3 years that you are experienced in this area. You should know that when I look in the mirror, I can live with myself. I know that I gave every day to the children and their families the best I had to offer. I was often their only advocate and didn't know for parents that didn't know how to advocate for their children, even if this meant repercussions. Yes, payback is still alive and well. I believe that my job, as yours, is to hold every person who collects a check from the Boston Public Schools accountable, yet this is not the case. We have people that do not understand that our priority is providing services to all children in BPS, not just the schools that have the mayor's ears. As I leave you to carry on for me, I ask the following. Please send my staff a letter acknowledging how poorly this process was handled. They didn't deserve it. Second, in June of 2014, please check the roster of Upper Academy and make sure those 700 children got to finish the year, not just the ones who came willing to learn. That you vowed to look beneath test scores to determine the haves and have-nots of this system and find ways to address the inequities. And finally, that principals be given an annual survey that elicits their feedback about the performance of departments and people responsible for helping them do their jobs, and have those responses returned to you. Those responses should be included in the superintendent's evaluation. After all, everyone, from children to parents to teachers and above, get to comment on the performance of principals. Respect is a two-way street, and this gesture will send the message to all that we need to be focused on making all schools work for all children. Thank you.
Thank you.